Disclaimer. The weak-hearted should not listen to this story. It seemed like an eternity happened before the door opened and Susan's parents greeted Tyler's parents with a friendly hug. She hated these reunions because A. Everybody pretended to be something they were not, B. The elders spent the entire night drinking, and C. The other kids bullied her. In all such previous reunions, the kids had targeted her and made fun of her. She was a shy girl with reserved temperament. Her parents were not as rich as their friends, and that was the prime barrier between the kids. They never liked her dresses, which she had adored, and they even teased her about her braided hair. Her grandparents had invested a lot in her father's education, and that's how he had come close to his rich friends. She was not sure even her mother felt comfortable around them. "How are you, Susie?" Tyler asked. She hated anybody other than her parents, who called her Susie instead of Susan. How hard was it to pronounce her full name? "I'm fine, Mr. Reese," she reverted as humbly as feasible for her. "All you friend are there in Lizzie's room." "Hurry," he said, caressing her cheek. "Okay," she said, faking excitement, and ran inside. "Come up, Suze," Liz called from the staircase to the second floor. "Suze? Really?" Susan thought while climbing the stairs. There were 4 more kids, with Liz Perry and Taylor, who belonged to the Roger family, and Cindy and Megan, who belonged to the Smith family. It seemed like they had already planned out something for her. "Look at her shoes. Did your mum saved her own for you?" Taylor remarked, and everybody started laughing. "Okay, listen, we are going to play Bloody Mary today," Megan informed Susan, breaking the laughter spree. Susan was not so sure about the game that had such a weird title. She had never played it, but soon everything was crystal clear. The kids gave a candle to Susan, and Liz started explaining the rules to her. "The game is simple. You go inside the bathroom. We shut down the power from the main power source. You stand in front of the mirror and light the candle. Then, you look into the mirror and say Bloody Mary 5 times. Once done, you will blow off the candle. The door will remain closed throughout the task, but I will be watching you from the keyhole. You cannot cheat." "What will happen when I do it?" she asked. "They say that when you switch on the light after blowing off the candle, you see the ghost of Mary in the mirror." Susan was terrified on listening that. "I won't do it, please," she begged. "You have to do it," Liz said. The other joined in as well. They pushed her inside the bathroom. She tried to shout, but Liz closed her mouth. Once they were able to push her inside, they closed the door after throwing a matchbox and candle inside. It was pitch black inside. She banged on the bathroom door and pleaded them to open it. For the next 10 minutes, she kept trying, but they did not open the door. She wondered why even her parents could not listen to the banging door and her pleas. Maybe the kids had closed the door of the room as well, or maybe they had started drinking as usual, she thought. When she gave up and stopped banging the door, Liz called out to her. "We will open the door when you do it," she said from outside, and all the other kids repeated after her. Seeking no other option, she traced the floor for the matchbox and candle. Wiping away her tears, she lit the candle and stood in front of the mirror. She could hear the kids laughing. Probably one of them was watching her through the keyhole. "I don't want to do this," she shouted as more tears escaped her eyes. "You will have to do this, or we will keep you locked till dinner, which is 2 hours away," Taylor exclaimed. She gathered some courage and looked at her reflection in the mirror with the candle in her hand. She could feel goosebumps on her skin due to the fear that was enveloping her right now. Her body shivered involuntarily before she spoke the words. "Bloody Mary! Bloody Mary! Bloody Mary!" The flame of the candle flickered, making some creepy shadows around her, and she felt a chill down her spine. She had to get over with it anyhow, she thought, and spoke again. "Bloody Mary! Bloody Mary! She blew off the candle and a thought popped into her mind. There was no source of air in the bathroom. Why did the candle's flame flicker? Everything went silent. The drops of water splashing in a bucket from one of the leaking taps made her shudder. She felt a mild blow of air and went numb. She could not move and could not utter a single word. Her throat went dry and she was petrified beyond imagination. She felt like someone was standing behind her, but she did not have enough courage to look behind. Whatever it was growing closer every passing second. She tried screaming, but could not force a voice out of her throat. Wham! The kids shouted, opening the door loudly, and switched on the light from outside. Susan was swept off the floor in shock and she could not see in the mirror. "See, there is no Bloody Mary, you fool," the kids shouted, making fun of her. Receiving no response from her, they picked her up and pushed her face in front of the mirror. "See, there is no one. There is no Bloody Mary. You are just a scared little rat." Susan closed her eyes. After what she had felt, she did not want to look in that mirror. "Come, let's play something now," Perry said, and they left her. She was still shaking when she heard their screams. Immediately rushing outside the bathroom, she found their bodies being pulled up to the ceiling. She could only whimper silently as she witnessed an invisible force pressing their bodies tightly against the ceiling. In the very next moment, she heard their bones cracking and deafening shrieks followed. Blood started dripping from their bodies as they were sucked into the wall. Terrified by the sight, she rushed back into the bathroom and looked into the mirror. She saw her own reflection. There was no ghost and everything seemed normal. She walked closer to the mirror and what she saw left her scared stiff. Her reflection was smiling, but she wasn't.